when you understand that they are you and you are them, to love them is to truly love you fully.
Welcome to Conversations with the Ancestors, where we connect to ancestral wisdom, cosmic insight, and healing rituals to redeem and liberate our souls. You're here because your higher self and your ancestors brought you here. So get your tea or coffee, take a breath, and settle in because, baby, this is for you.
Hi, divine beings. Welcome to the podcast that is all about ancestral truth, healing, empowered legacy, word to power, and most definitely love. Today is the last day of Libra season. We are entering into the spooky Scorpio season, which I am thrilled about. I've been listening to some other readers and channelers and tarot practitioners, etc. And they have all been saying this Scorpio season is going to be one of the spookiest of all times. Now, I don't know if you know this, but I am a Scorpio. That's my sun sign. My moon is Libra. My rising is Libra. So Libra season, Scorpio season is my time. I love the fall. I'm whoop, whoop, let's go. And that means for me, I don't really ever feel like Scorpio season is spooky. However, the way the planets are laid out right now, I see why they're saying that. Scorpio season and the energetics of Scorpio period is that deep mental and emotional understanding. As a Scorpio, and I didn't even realize this growing up until I got my chart fully read. But as a Scorpio, it is really hard for many of us to have surface level chit chats. And for me, with my Libra rising, my Libra moon, and then my Scorpio sun, I'd be like, why are we talking about the weather why aren't we talking about how we can control the weather and mystical, magical things like that? Yeah, I know it's hot outside, or yeah, I know it's fall outside. Let's talk about something more than that. And I think that's why I'm on the podcast talking about stuff that is not the average, everyday Joe Smo things that you hear. I mean, some of you may be hearing these messages in multiple different ways from your own practice, from things that you see on YouTube. So this may not be new to you, and to others it may be. But I think that's why I am, one, decidedly loquacious about how I speak and move, and two, how I'm just not here for the little chit chat kikis. We could do that, but then let's get to the deep of the stuff, you know? So anyways, as I mentioned, it is Scorpio season. Well, last day of Libra season going into Scorpio season. And Scorpio season is my birth season. I am in the 10-day countdown to my birthday. So I'm really pumped. And this birthday season has me reflecting on self-love. Self-love. And this podcast episode today is entitled The Cost of Love, because I've been reflecting on self-love. And we're going to get deeper into that in a moment. Say the name, say the name. We do it to remember those who came before us. So let's say the name. Say the name, say the name. We talking about Frances Ellen Watkins Harper. So let's say her name. Today's ancestor is Frances Ellen Watkins Harper. Wow, wow, okay, so let me tell you what just happened. It's downloading as I'm about to start talking to you about Frances. Lovely ancestor, abolitionist, poet, author, etc. We're going to get into more about her, but her last name being Harper. And recently I went to Harper's Ferry. It is located in West Virginia, United States. And Harper's Ferry was a place for a really historical raid by John Brown in 1859. Now, Frances Ellen Watkins Harper was born 1825 in Baltimore, Maryland. The reason why I'm bringing up John Brown's and Harper Ferry's raid from 1859 is because, one, Ellen's last name is Harper, and it just really clicked like, wow, I was just at Harper's Ferry talking about raids and learning about the raid that took place and how it did not succeed and how so many people died and just a lot happening around there, all in this region of the United States, which is the East Coast area of the US. And Frances Ellen Watkins Harper was born September 24th, 1825 in Baltimore, Maryland. And so these northern states, if you are familiar with US history, these northern states were in a bridge and the edge really between keeping slavery or freedom. And some of the states were moving towards freedom already. Some of them were very still enslaved country. And so things were shifting a lot, especially during Frances's upbringing. Her parents died when she was very young, and so she was raised by her aunt and uncle. Frances Ellen Watkins was born free, growing up in an area where the state is going and shifting between freedom and slavery, the laws shifting and changing, the environment continuously changing. Those things really shaped her thinking around what it means to be free, around what it means to belong, and what it means to love in more profound ways than I think she was being shown. She vocalized her thoughts through her poetry, her writing. As an author, she was one of the first African-American women to publish a short story, an abolitionist who shared the stage with Frederick Douglass and others. She was a fierce defender of women's rights and equality. Frances co-founded the National Association of Colored Women in 1896. Her words inspired change, and her life reminds us that love is not passive. Love is protest. Love is teaching. Love is embracing others. Love is the will to see ourselves as the divine that we are and to see the divinity within others. And I feel as though Frances, her words, her work, her life embodied a fierce passion for liberation, truth, and justice through the understanding of love. And so in this moment, I'd like for us to call and invoke her as we move through the rest of this episode. This is for you, ancestors, for you. This is for you, ancestors, for you. This is for you, ancestors, for you. This is for you. We call on the good and well, elevated guides and ancestors who have the power of the word, the sword of the tongue. Tapping in and asking ancestor Frances Ellen Watkins Harper, may your spirit and the spirit of our elevated guides and ancestors who have the power of the tongue and the power of the words, may your spirit walk beside us as we move through the rest of this episode. And not only through this episode, but as we work to speak our own truth in this time. May your spirit help us as we write poems and think pieces and speak and profess invocations of justice and liberation as we build bridges instead of walls. You all who know and knew that love must be more than a sentiment, teach us how to make love a daily practice. Teach us how to love ourselves so deeply that we see the God and ourselves in others, and we cannot help but love those others deeply too. Show us the love that feeds and frees, the love that fights for the unseen and the seen. Show us the love that binds us to ourselves, to our ancestors, to one another, and to the greater purpose of our lives. I ask this and I ring the bell in solidifying that invocation into this space. Ashe. I am still in Maryland, United States of America, and the state of the world is wild, bro. Wild. It keeps coming up. Just wild. It's wild out here in these streets. And so this episode is talking about love. And not just love, self-love, unconditional love. I have been brought the question many times, how can you love those who do quote unquote bad things? My response is manyfold, but the first response is, just because I love someone does not mean I agree with how they move and what they decide to do and how they decide to express their God essence in this moment. That's not my concern. My concern is to recognize that it's all love. Even though stuff happens, and I'm not saying that loving someone makes me decide that what they are doing is right. Love is unconditional. Love says, I love you no matter what. That doesn't mean you walk over me. That doesn't mean I agree with everything you do. That doesn't mean that I'm gonna allow you to hurt me and bypass my boundaries. That's not what it is. It's acknowledging that I love you, and I love you, viewer, and the others in this world. Outside of what they do, I love them because I recognize that they are me and I am them. They are expressing a different form of their God essence than I am expressing in mine. And the deeper part of this loving is to understand that life is balance, yin and yang, dark and light. You can't just have all light and no dark. The light is born from the darkness. Think about when we look up at the stars, we can see the stars shine so bright because the space in between each star is dark. If we did not have that contrast, we would not be able to appreciate the light that we have. And so I love also the dark pieces that allow us to see the light. There's many dark pieces happening out here in this world. And I know for me, it took me some years to get to this place of, I love you. I love you all. Imagine the people who you might have vehement hate toward. So the thing that helped me with this was, right? If I am professing and working to love every part of me fully, wholeheartedly, unconditionally, that means if I decide that I hate someone, in a real way, I am also still not loving me fully. I am hating myself to a degree because we are all one. We all share in the fabric of life. In all honesty, those who do things that I don't agree with, I actually appreciate them because they are fulfilling a role in this great fabric and pattern of life that I said I didn't want to fulfill when I decided and I signed my contracts to come back here in this incarnation. So I appreciate them for doing that level of dirty work because we need the balance. Everything cannot always be roses and berries and sunshine. The sun sets and then the moon comes up. The light and the dark play balance with one another. And I believe the sun appreciates the moon. I appreciate the light and the dark because people have to fulfill what they needed to fulfill so that I can fulfill what I need to fulfill so that we as one can evolve. So just as my words and my life are fulfilling my role that I need in this world at this time, it's fulfilling a role that is to be amplified and pushed out to this world. Just as I am fulfilling that role, they are fulfilling the role that they need to play. And you are fulfilling the role that you need to play in this time. We grow in opposition. We grow in challenge. And that's not to say that these things are fair. Not to say that opposition and challenge is fair or easy or people deserve hardships. That's not it. I believe that we can also grow not just from opposition and challenge, but we can grow from ease. That our lessons that we receive can be lessons that come in softer ways, that come in more loving ways. A challenge doesn't always mean hardship or hurt or pain. A challenge means I have been faced with something and I've been given the opportunity to allow it to support me in my growth. That does not mean that it is good or bad, negative or positive. You can call in challenges that support your evolution and your growth. You can call in challenges that do that and put the boundary, the energetic boundary around it, that it is a challenge that is filled with love and ease and support. Listen, I've been through some effed up challenges in my life. Oh, and Spirit is like, tell it at 222 on my clock right now. So I'm about to give y'all the tea, okay? Challenges that I have been through. At the age of 25, my mother, I grew up in a single parent household, died drastically in my arms, actually, like literally in my arms. Oh, Spirit, this is challenging.
Trigger warning.
I have been sexually abused, verbally and emotionally abused, and gaslit. I've been spiritually attacked and energetically drained by people I trusted, teachers, gurus, and others that I looked up to. I've been homeless. I've been so broke that I only had a couple pennies in my pockets and I was wandering the streets of Atlanta, Georgia. I've fought depressive battles. I've fought spiritual battles. I have been attacked in all of my chakras and my womb area, my divine femininity, my divine child, my divine masculine have all been attacked in multiple ways that I can't even express here, and yet I rise. I hear ancestor Maya Angelou in her poem, Phenomenal Woman, and the other poem, I Rise. And so when I come talking about the depth of self-love that connects to Christ-like love, and this is not about Christianity, this is about understanding that there have been previous masters who have come to the understanding of what the depth of love means. And so as I move and talk about oneness and self-love and unconditional love, I understand that we are such great beings that we can hold space for the hurt and the pain and the unfairness and the love for ourselves and the love for others who may have done some of the hurt and the pain and the unfairness. And this is not to absolve them from what they have done and what they may do in the future. Is not it at all, okay? Justice and liberation is over here, okay? So it's not that I am absolving them. It is that I am working to love all of me, all of the many parts of me unconditionally. And that means loving everyone and everything, because when you understand that they are you and you are them, to love them is to truly love you fully. It is one of the deepest acts of self-love that I can think of. And to love that being that is outside of you is to also love yourself. It doesn't cost anything to love you. It doesn't cost anything to love yourself. Or maybe it does, actually. Maybe it costs the befriending of your ego to see things clearer. I hear people talk deeply about ego death and getting rid of the ego. Let me tell you that the ego is there to protect us, to alert us. And what I've learned in my journey is when I befriend the ego and get to know it, get to know what it is trying to show me, understand how it is saying, hey, peep this, boop, boop, blibbity bop. When I peep that, I recognize that the ego is my friend. And instead of falling into the pit of the ego wants me to do this, I ask, hey, ego, what are you trying to show me and why? Why is this important? What about this lesson are you awakening to me? But when you befriend someone and you actually get to know them, when they start to act out, as the ego can do sometimes, you have the words and the tools to understand where they're coming from and also to have a coherent conversation. So maybe the cost of love, deep, self, unconditional love in the way that I have laid it out and defined it here today, maybe the cost of it is recognizing that we can be friends with our ego. Maybe the cost of it is recognizing that if I befriend my ego and my ego acknowledges and alarms something to me about another person who is another version of me, who is a mirror of me, the ego is sounding the alarm about this mirrored version of me. And in that moment, I can see it as the opportunity to find a way to love me deeper, i.e., love all of humanity deeper, or I can choose a different path. And in this lifetime that I know I am working towards my final ascension, I'm choosing the path that says, Hey, ego, thanks for showing me that I'm choosing to love me deeper. So what does that look like for you? Instead of me being mad at other parts of myself who are doing their job of fulfilling their duty in the big grand plan that none of us really fully see because it's that enormous and infinite, I can instead focus on fulfilling my duty and my essence and my authentic movement forward in this grand plan. And when I focus on the grand plan for me, in this way, I believe we truly exemplify love, self-love, and unconditional love. Instead of looking at all the other versions of us that are doing some stuff that we don't really like, send them love. Create your boundary of what you will and will not take from that version of you. And then redirect your focus to you and your bliss and your happiness and your love and you walking in the passion of your purpose. One of the cards that I drew today is the Black Dragon from Saturn. The Black Dragon from Saturn. It says, it brings you wisdom through spiritual discipline. Concentrate. Focus on your ultimate vision. Congratulate yourself because you have passed the test. Saturn is the taskmaster that says, you said you want this. Do you really? I'm going to put some things in place. I'm going to put some challenges in place for you to show me and the universe that you actually want what you have said that you want. And then we have the Black Dragon to help us be spiritually disciplined to then succeed and pass the challenges, pass the test. You've already passed so many. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Like, from my heart, I'm so proud of you. So if you are in a place where you feel like there is a little bit of a struggle to how you are showing up in your authentic purpose and focusing on your spiritual alignment, spiritual evolution, and needing some additional spiritual discipline, some focus, some gratitude, some redirecting from all of the noise that's happening outside of you, I encourage you to call the Black Dragon from Saturn and ask that Black Dragon to support you in focusing in on your purpose, removing all of the excess loudness and encompassing you in flames of truth, encompassing you in everything that you need to succeed and walk in the fullness of your purpose. That is my prayer for you and for me, because we are the we. And it's also my challenge to you. I challenge you to love yourself unconditionally, to love yourself so deeply that no other version of you, no other environmental thing that's surrounding you shakes your love for you, your joy, your peace, your bliss. That's my challenge to you. And really, at the end of the day, it is to remember who you are. I'm ending this episode with a sneak peek. Ew. I'm giving you guys a sneak peek of a track that's going to be on my upcoming album that will release in January 2026. This track is a poem called Remember Who You Are. And I believe it is a beautiful addition to today's podcast because the ancestor that we have connected to and invoked, Frances Ellen Watkins Harper, was a poet, a liberator, and an abolitionist. And this poem exemplifies that feeling of freedom, liberation, abolitionist, and a wake-up call to remind you who the F you are. And I also again hear Maya Angelou saying, I'm in on that too. So because we called in those ancestors and guides with the sword of a tongue, okay? So they are here. Enjoy this poem, my dear, dear divine beings whom I love, because you are me and I am you and I love you deeply. And if nobody told you today, you are love, you are loved, and I'm always rooting for you. And so are your ancestors. Enjoy this poem. Woo.
I am the waist beads on your hips, oscillating between loose and tightness. I am your favorite hoop earrings, golden as they tangle from your earlobes. I am the pop in your bubble gum, the purse on your lips. I am your first kiss, your favorite kiss, baby. I am every kiss. I am the happy in your feet, the rhythm in your soul, the melody you can't get out of your head. I am your favorite moment, cherry, solidifying every moment into the hippocampus. I am human, Egyptian and Jamaican. I am ancient and alien. I am Skepmet priestess. I am Nefertiti. I am monk. I am divine. I am light being. I am Oshun priestess. I am here. I have always been here. I am divinity itself. I am forever creator. I am God and goddess. I am the essence of all that there is. I am the stars and the galaxies, the void of space and time, the sun and the moon. I am earth, a steadfast foundation with ample vegetation. I am water, the rushing river, the still lake, and the deepest of seas. I am air, the lightest whistle and the playful breeze, the kiss on your skin. I am fire, the burn you down, excavate your soul, too hot to handle, yet the warmth of your being. I am the slow, yet fast moving clouds in the thick turquoise sky. The cloud that transforms into your eye's imagination. I am the roots of the trees, the mycelium connection. I am the beginning and the end in matter form. I am crystal diva. I am black sea salt and purple sea moth. I am golden monaco honey, the sweetness that caused the butterflies, the hummingbirds, and the bees to feast. I am the phoenix. Ever rising from the ashes, I am the peacock, ever strutting my luminous feathers. I am the panther, quietly prowling, the house feline, tenderly sitting on your lap. I am the bird, the robin, taking flight into infinity and beyond. I am conscious and continuous thought. I am love. I am all that there is and all that there shall ever be. I am the embodiment of a soul's revolution. I am the smell of copal on a ritual morning. I am the sight gained from deep internal contemplation. I am the release for the soul. I am the tears of freedom. The tears you and your ancestors before you cried. I am the feeling of freedom on your skin. I am you. Do you not see? I am the green of envy and jade, the dichotomy of deceit and truth. I am the virgin and the slut, the truth that none is greater than another. I am stories you tell your children. I am stories you tell yourself. I am the scars you try to hide. I am the version of you with healed wounds, the trauma you've processed, the hurt you now release. I am the victor, no more the victim. I am the lesson taught and the lesson learned. I am professed gratitude. I am everything and no thing at once. You see, I am the seed and the flower. I am history and virtue. I am history and future. One to repeat, one to be recreated. I am you and you are me. I'm going to repeat that. I am the seed and the flower. I am history and future. One to repeat and one to be created. I am you and you are me, and we shall forever be one. In this universe, on this earth, In this spiritual realm, we are one, always together, never separate. We are everything and no thing all at once. Ashe. Conversations with the Ancestors is produced and edited by Robin Denise. Theme song For You, co-written and co-performed by Robin Denise. Join us in connecting to the ancestors by rating, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to Conversations with the Ancestors on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can get deeper with your ancestors and support this work by joining the community at robindenise.com. There you'll find free resources for download and online courses to help you pull on your ancestral wisdom and the abundance they have for you. Once again, that's robindenise.com.